Okay, so I've been playing a lot in survival mode, and it's no joke. I've been gunned down plenty of times. I've been blown up. I've been stitched up by companions shooting things that explode. It's all too easy to take your eye off your health bar just at the wrong moment. Too late. So I've compiled a list of everything that I could think of to make your playthrough on survival that little bit easier. Yeah, I didn't see this one coming. That's me dead.
Quit screwing around and get out there.
It's important to stay calm and keep your cool. Just like I did there, obviously. Right, this is a guide for newcomers and veterans alike. If you've played the game for 300 hours, 400 hours, you might still learn something here. So in the vault before you leave, make sure you pick up everything you find. Even with the strength of 4, I was able to take everything I found before I got to Sanctuary, which is handy. So if you kill the rad roaches, make sure you take the meat, and we'll get to why that's important soon. And don't forget the gun on the overseer's desk. You're going to need it. So yeah, outside the vault there's plenty more supplies before you get to Sanctuary. Just keep an eye out and pick up everything you find. And if you go back to your house, in your son's bedroom, you'll find the Your Special book, which lets you level up one of your special attributes straight away. From the workshop house, this house at the corner, there is a cellar at the back. It has some nice supplies in there, including some gold bars which sell for a nice amount. Make sure you scrap everything in Sanctuary, obviously, no brainer. There's lots of supplies here. Going to come in very handy. And if you scrap the safe or any container, everything inside will be stored in the workbench. You're going to get to know the cooking stations. If you cook all of the meat you find, you can eat rad free, and there's plenty of meat to find. And if you go to Sunshine Tidings, just here south of Abernathy Farm, go to this hut at the back. There is a Wasteland Survival Guide which doubles the amount of meat that you find on enemies. So what used to be a gross nuisance is now a rather tasty treat. I know a lot of people use the lead belly perk, but it's quite easy to stay rad free. You can fill up your water bottles in a river. Of course it'll be irradiated. You can fill them up at the water pump and you'll have nice purified water, so you don't need to drink any irradiated water at all. And if you don't have any bottles, you will drink it automatically, so you can save your water when you're at your settlements. And if you put plenty of water pumps down, it will start to fill up the workbench with purified water, so you should have plenty. When it comes to upgrading your weapons, which you're going to want to do, you're going to be needing a hell of a lot of adhesive for most modifications. So go back to the cooking station under utility, find vegetable starch, which takes 3 potatoes, 3 corn, 3 mute fruit and a purified water, and you get 5 adhesive from that. You're going to get to want to know your chems when you've got the first chemist perk. Antibiotics, very important for survival mode. There's glowing fungus for that in the cave underneath Red Rocket, which I'll tell you about in a minute. When you do get to Red Rocket, you get dog meat as a companion, and if you want to use the Lone Wanderer perk, it's great for dog meat because you still get all the bonuses, and he's the only companion you can do that with. That water tower there has some stim packs and other supplies at the base. Okay, so here's a little cave just south of Red Rocket here on the map. There's some nice supplies here, including a fusion core, which is going to come in handy very soon. It's worth getting the local leader perks so you can set up supply lines and place down shops. If building isn't your thing, doesn't matter, you can place a shop down on the side of the road and they don't know the difference. I wouldn't obsess too much about the settlers' happiness. I mean, anything above 30% they're not going anywhere, and this is survival mode, not glee mode. It's worth setting up your supply lines so you can have use of all your supplies at all of the settlements. It's always handy to have lots of places to save your game. You can drag items from outside the build area inside the build area to be scrapped if you need supplies. It's worth having all of your items separated into different types it somewhere so you know where everything is and you're not hunting through your inventory. I would keep all of the ammo you find. You never know what you're going to want later on, so I kept all of my ammo. Hangman's Alley is one of the best settlements because of its central location, and it's already got a few little buildings here you can use if building isn't your thing. Quick trick to use if you've got the Contraptions DLC: if you place down a gunner's cage, when you let them out, they will be hostile, of course, so you take them down. They will nearly always have good weapons and armour to take. Place some turrets down to make it a little bit easier, and if it's not a decent one with decent armour and weapons, you can reload the file and it will be a different one. So it's not predetermined what it's going to be, so you can just keep reloading the file until you get what you want. I want to talk about lockpicking and hacking quickly. Kate can pick locks if you give her bobby pins, and she can pick master locks as well. Just be careful what you give her. She used a whole bunch of my stealth boys once. Nick Valentine can hack terminals. He can hack master terminals, although it's a very low percentage chance, and he will be locked out permanently if he fails, so you've got to be mindful of that. And there's a lot of confusion about hacking. You only get a likeness if the letters are in the right place, not just in the word. And if you're going through and you see a bit that selects a whole bunch of characters at once, you click it, it will remove duds, it's usually between two brackets, and sometimes it will reset your tries as well. Right, if you head down to Abernathy Farm, talk to Connie. She's the first merchant that you come across. And when you talk to Blake, he will give you the first quest. So if you don't want to start the main quest, this is the best quest to start on. Just here on the map are some nice supplies, including a nice 44 pistol with a few bullets. Use it wisely. Don't underestimate the power of grenades early on. Even without perks, they can do a lot of damage. Just here, again on the map, just next to the satellite station, is a nice set of power armor. It's not complete, but it will really make this first quest very, very easy. Having dog meat with you as well can make it a complete walk in the park, and you're going to want to do quests to level up, because just wandering around killing things is not going to give you enough experience, especially in survival mode. You're going to want to do quests to level up, and this is a pretty good quest to start out on. If you go here to Drumlin Diner, there'll be a little bit of drama going on. With a high enough charisma, you will be able to step in and settle it peacefully.
I could help. Everyone walks away without getting hurt. I'll take a look.
And now you will have two merchants here instead of one. And if you're going to be using power armor a lot, then head to the Robotics Disposal Ground just here on the map. This hut in the corner, you will find a hot rodder magazine which lets you use a custom paint job, which increases your agility with all pieces painted, and it doesn't cost any resources to paint either, and that's the best thing about it. And not only does it look really cool, but you will move a lot faster, which makes things a hell of a lot easier getting around, and it will give you more action points in v.a.t.s, so you can really start to get an upper hand. And I was only about level 5 or 6 here, taking down these gunners with ease. And with the power armor, if you take your fusion cores out before they're empty, they will sell at full price. The jetpack, you can get a level 41. It does have its uses as well, so it can come in very handy. And if you do decide to start the main quest early, if you take a companion to Concord, it shouldn't be too much trouble at all. There's only low level enemies here, and you get your first full set of power armor, which is very nice.
Those raiders know they picked the wrong fight.
You also get a nice minigun, so if that's your thing, you're in luck. When Deathclaw pops out, start giving him hell straight away. If you run in these buildings, he can't get you, he can't get through the door, so you can take him out at your leisure.
I'm just glad you're on our side.
The first Minutemen quest, to take down the raiders in the Corfega factory. Again, if you take power armor and a companion, you're not going to get too much resistance and you'll be able to take them down quite easily. You don't have to kill everyone inside, just this main guy on the top floor. I'm going to talk about sneaking soon because it makes your life a lot easier, and this guy didn't even see me coming. He did. Right, there's a bed to save your progress on the top floor, and I would always recommend sleeping at least 8 hours so you're not tired. After this quest, Preston will give you the flare gun, which is very handy. It lets you call in the Minutemen to help you fight as long as you're near a settlement. And they're not the best fighters in the world, but what they're good at is distracting enemies while you flank them and take them down. And if you want the most peaceful ending possible, you're going to want to use the Minutemen, because if you use the Railroad or the Brotherhood to get to the Institute, they're going to want to kill each other. And around the Corvega factory, near the back, you'll pick up the military frequency radio, which lets you into the Brotherhood. And when you get there, you want to take out the ghouls, get to the top, and it'll make taking out the ghouls a lot easier. They'll bottleneck on the stairs and you can take them down, because it's easy to get overwhelmed by large packs of ghouls. And once that's done, there will be a quick mission with Paladin Dance. There's lots of synths here, and they can be quite troublesome. So if you let Paladin Dance soak up most of the damage, it's not going to be a problem. He can take a lot of damage. And after that mission, he will give you one of the best laser rifles in the entire game. And if you do the Lost Patrol quest and get sent to the National Guard training yard, firstly, don't forget that you can disarm mines and pick them up, because there's plenty around here that you can use against the ghouls to your advantage. And at the back of the building, inside this green container, is a set of T-51 power armor just behind the expert lock. So get that if you can. Should make taking out the ghouls that much easier, and the subsequent super mutants later on in the quest. If you go in the armory, I wouldn't this early, but be careful, because when you leave you will be ambushed by a sentry bot. My advice at this point is get away as quick as you can. When you get to the part of the main quest where the Pridwin comes in, go back to Paladin Dance and you'll get taken aboard the Pridwin, and you'll get a nice new set of Brotherhood power armor and a bed to sleep on the Pridwin, and place to store your gear, which is always handy. And there's a quick quest to clear some super mutants. You'll ride out on the vertibird and you can clear out all of the super mutants from outside. If you stay on the vertibird and use the minigun, you can kill them all without taking much of a hit at all. And after this point, you can now summon a vertibird to your location. Just hop on board, tell it where you want to go,
Set me up.
and you can get more grenades from Tegan on board the Pridwin. It can save you a lot of time and trouble in getting around without fast travel. And anyone worried about getting shot down, I've heard about it, I've never seen it. I've thrown everything at them. It seems the ones you summon are invincible, because I can't take them down. I can't summon them in v.a.t.s, and I can't even shoot the pilot. For those of you who want to get into the railroad but don't want to follow the Freedom Trail, it's here on the map. You spell out railroad on the dial, and that's it, you'll be in.
Stop right there.
Deacon is a good companion. He often randomly changes his loadout, so you can sometimes get good weapons and armor off him, and he seems to be the best at sneaking as well. So if you want to be a stealthy character, he is one of the best to bring along. There is one brief mission before you can unlock him as a companion, taking out, you guessed it, some synths. But once you finish that mission, he will give you one of a kind unique weapon that is very good, especially if you're a stealth character. The Institute is a good faction to side with if you're going to be playing on survival mode. Not because you get all the usual things, but because you can teleport there from any part of the map, so it can make getting back home instant. And if you don't like the Institute, well, that's fine too.
Huh?
And when you get to Diamond City, go to the Super Noodle stand, and the noodles you can buy there are food and water in one, and they're rad free, so that's one of the best items for survival. There are plenty of locations dotted around the map where you can save. It's worth making a mental note of where they are, because that can really come in handy if you get caught short and need a place to save. It can also be quite daunting when you've got dozens of quests, so if you select all of them and then go to the map, you can get an idea of where all your objectives are, and you can plan a route along with places to save along the way, and it can save a lot of backpedaling, which helps without fast travel. If you get over encumbered, you can always drop one of your heavier weapons, and then you can pick it up and carry it home, and then you can walk at normal speed. And if you have more than 5 of one item, you can drop it as one. You can drop 7 missiles there as one, and I can pick that up and carry it home no problem. When you go to the glowing sea, I wouldn't go there without power armor, and I would recommend sneaking a lot of the way, because there are some really nasty things out there. Example here of the jetpack coming in handy. You chuck a grenade on the floor and jetpack out of there. Job done. Paladin Dance is a good companion to take to the glowing sea. It's always handy to have someone watching your back out there. When you're done, you can summon a vertibird to take you back out. I mean, there's no reason to risk getting killed on the way back. As I said before, I've literally used it hundreds of times and I've never been shot down. V.a.t.s has saved my skin more times than I can count. If you snap onto someone, and if they don't move when you come off of, you can get off a quick shot and you'll get them almost every time. And if it feels like cheating, it's because it almost is. It even works if you can't see them. I can take them down quite easy with a quick shot in the V.a.t.s, so even if the accuracy is low, I can still get them. While in V.a.t.s, if they're still standing when you finish, you can often get off a shot, because you'll still be aiming at them, and you can hold the button in to look around and wait for the perfect moment. And anything over 1% accuracy is enough for a critical hit, so that's always good to know that it's always going to hit. And the critical banker perk is good. It lets you store up multiple critical hits. Shots in V.a.t.s with the Gauss rifle are always fully charged, so critical hit with a Gauss rifle can take out quite a lot of things. Reloading is a lot quicker in V.a.t.s as well. If you need to reload, it's always wise to quickly go into V.a.t.s if you're being attacked, and it can save you. Aiming for limbs is often a good thing to do. I've shot this super mutant in the arm, and now he's not hitting me. He offloads about 3 or 4 shots without hitting me at all. Robots are not usually weak in the head, so usually go for the body or the arms. And be careful, because a lot of them explode. Ghouls, if you take out the leg, they can't get up and they can't get you, so you can take them out, so even high level ghouls shouldn't be a problem. Even this legendary deathclaw, he can kill me in one hit. I'll be finished with one swipe, but he can't hit me now because I've taken out the leg, and I can take him down at my leisure, and even when he mutates, his leg will still be crippled and he won't be getting up. Assaultrons can be a real pain. Again, take out the leg and the threat is all but gone. Same with most robots, they're not weak in the head, so just go for a limb or the body and that'll deal with them. Most enemies can be incapacitated somehow. Just don't get too close. Sentry Bots can be an absolute nightmare. Trick with them is if you sneak around behind them and keep getting a look at their fusion cores in v.a.t.s, and every once in a while they will open and 2% there is enough for a critical hit, take it out in one. So they can go down if you know how to do it. With v.a.t.s as well, you can check for sleeping ghouls so you don't get surprised. Also, you can find landmines and use them to your advantage. You can shoot grenades in v.a.t.s. These ghouls would have probably ran past them if I hadn't shot them. And it looks pretty cool as well. Obviously, if you shoot the super mutant suicider in the arm, he's going to blow up. But if you can also shoot grenades out of people's hands, and I just missed that one, so did he. Nobody's perfect. The sneak perks are well worth getting. The second and third ranks, you will no longer trigger enemy mines or traps, along with a ninja perk, which increases your damage output while sneaking. Not being seen really is the best way to stay alive, and you can get the jump on a lot of people and take them out with ease. You can also lose enemies quite easy. If you sneak and hide for a while, they will just forget you're there. It's always good to sneak up on high level enemies. If you decide you don't want to take them on, there's no shame in turning tail and running away. Your companions, and you can sneak around behind people, and it really is amazing what you can get away with sometimes. Even in my power armor, this guy didn't see me coming. Landmines are also fun to play with in sneak mode. You can lure people out and then you can finish them off. Usually cripples their legs so they don't get up. If you're in the dark with shadowed armor, you can hide from a lot of things quite easily. This ghoul didn't find me for about 5 minutes. And if you absolutely, positively have to steal something, then you can just pick it up and drag it, take it out somewhere safe where you're not being seen, make sure you're sneaking, and then you can take it. Quick trick with pickpocket, the second rank of pickpocket perk, you can actually plant a grenade in somebody's pocket, so you could get creative with that. It's always a good idea to have a companion carry a heavy weapon for you. Don't give them ammo, otherwise they might use it, but you can take it off of them, and even if you're over encumbered when you use it, you can just give it right back to them. If you're using power armor, obviously, then carrying them around with you shouldn't be too much of an issue. You should be able to carry a heavy weapon and a little bit of ammo. Always make a note of your surroundings. Jumped up on this roof, and now none of the ghouls in this area can touch me. I can just shoot them all down. They're all crowding around Nick. I can just take them out, because on the ground in a pack, they can be a real problem. Again, don't underestimate what grenades can do. Just one grenade in the right place at the right time can do a hell of a lot of damage. Bridges are usually dangerous places. These three guys aren't waiting to give me a present. Doesn't mean I can't give them one. So yeah, be wary, because most bridges have some kind of danger. The Robotics Expert perk is rather good. You can hack into a robot and it gives you 3 options for command. You can shut them down, initiate self-destruct, or incite them to attack others. If you're using the Automatron DLC, there'll be plenty of opportunities to get creative with that. Robot companions are good because they can be used to pick locks, hack terminals, and they can have 2 weapons equipped at the same time, and they can carry a lot of stuff. You can also upgrade robots like Curie and Codsworth. You can turn him into the killing machine he was always meant to be.
This is all much more exciting than domestic life, I assure you.
When you do the Vault Tech DLC, there's some very high level enemies in here, so I'd recommend bringing some heavy weapons. Areas where you can build where there are enemies, namely where you go and get the nuclear material, if you lay some turrets down, you can just let them take out the rad scorpions for you, and there'll be no problem at all. And even the highest level ones, if you steer clear, they'll get taken out. Make sure you've got a critical hit saved for the Sentry Bot, and he'll go down no problem. When you unlock a new section of the workshop, just stick a bed down to save your progress. When you do go to Far Harbour, you can go at level 20. I would recommend going a lot higher, and I would advise taking power armor because you're going to be taking rad damage absolutely everywhere, and there are a lot of very high level enemies. Sneaking is a good option here. Nick Valentine is the best companion to take to Far Harbour. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you don't bring power armor, there is a nice set of T51 power armor that you can get if you follow the road to the north. It's really easy to get to, and it looks really cool as well.
Might just make a proper Far Harborman out of you.
Lastly, going to go over Nuka World, just enough to get you through the gauntlet. There's some gunners outside that shouldn't be too much trouble to take down. Once you get inside, use the stealth boy in the room with all the turrets. Most of them won't see you, even when you're shooting the other ones, and it really makes this part a lot easier. I was able to take out most of them without taking any damage at all. If you decided to bring a companion with you, get them to hang back while you disarm all the traps, because they have a nasty habit of just walking over them. And there's a lot of them here. In the room just before the second turret room, there is a bed here that you can save on. When you are in the turret room, you don't have to kill all of the turrets. You only have to shoot the monkey on the table. Watch out for landmines in the next section, because there are a lot of them, and a lot of them are hidden, and they don't always light up. If you can pick expert locks, you can go across the bridge. Try and lure the Mirelurks out if you're not going to try and shoot them before you get down. If you do go across and you fall down, I'd recommend just running straight through the hole on the left and not trying to fight the Mirelurks, because you might get cornered. If you can pick expert locks, great. Just try and get through this door here, and that cuts out a lot of hassle. In the room where the gas is leaking out, don't bother turning the handles. If you don't have a high melee output, you'll actually have better luck just shooting them and igniting the flames. I actually took a lot less damage that way than trying to hit them with the butt of my gun. Look for this key on the door there, and the password on this desk to get into this terminal. to shut off the gas. And then in the next room, these flying ant swarms, really high damage output. They killed me in one hit more than once, so you've got to be careful. And in the room here at the back, there is another bed to save on before the last section, which is very handy. And here, I would stay in the covered room, go out, and you can lure them out and then shoot them from safety, because after a while they do stop spawning and you'll have taken them all out, and you can just walk straight through to the end and the last part of the gauntlet. For the last fight at the end, decided to tip the odds way in my favour, and I just took all the chems in the world. Everything I had on me that could give me an edge, I had a jet which slowed down time, which I think is what did it for me. I was only level 49 when I came here, and I was underprepared, if anything, so I would make sure you definitely think about it. This is a fight you're going to want to end quick, and I was lucky enough to be able to get 2 shots with the fat man before he could do anything.
Not a bad plan.
Make sure you take Coulter's armour as soon as you can, because it will disappear after a while. And when you're in Nuka World, there are plenty of supplies all over the town that you can take, and even in the merchant areas you can take most of the items there with impunity. You are the overboss after all. So that's it really. Please like and subscribe. More importantly, let me know if I've missed anything out. This has been my ultimate survival guide. Thank you for watching.